Welcome back, this is Goku Sun DBZ, and this time, this is going to be my last of game collection videos, showing a little bit, and unfortunately this will be a very quick video because I don't have many, but these are what Panasonic 3DO games I have, which unfortunately isn't many, but this is the first one of a few that I have without cases. Twisted, the game show. So yeah, it's a game show game. As you see, it was made by Electronic Arts. Next up, we have, of course, Road Rash, which a lot of people consider this to be the best version of the game actually on home console. And of course, also done by Electronic Arts, as you see. Just put those up there. Next up, we have also by Electronic Arts, Road Track. The Need for Speed. Yes, this is actually the original Need for Speed game, which was released. Now, strangely enough, unlike the PlayStation version, this version actually had cutscenes and stuff with actual real people instead of CG, which is actually quite interesting, but there were games at this time period that actually did do that, believe it or not. And next we have from, of course, SNK, the original Samurai Showdown game, which is actually a lot of fun, and surprisingly, a lot of people actually say that this actually plays almost as good as the Neo Geo version of the game, which is actually saying quite a bit in all honesty. Next we have Tripped. Now this is an interesting game, to say the least. Now it's a game sort of like Columns, or I guess you could say Tetris type game, but it has its own flavor and its sort of own uniqueness to the game, unlike just a standard rip-off clone. This actually does have certain originality and different elements to it, much like Puzzle Fighters from Capcom. So it's actually not a bad game, in all honesty. It's kind of fun. If you enjoy things like Tetris, you'll enjoy it. Next we have a Jet Fighter game, which is, yeah, a 2-disc. And as you see, this is Shockwave 2, Beyond the Gate. Now, the original Shockwave was considered really bad, but this version of the game is actually a little bit better, and what's cool here on the back, you can actually see what kind of weapons and stuff you can gain in the game. Railgun, Gatling gun, Hellfire, yeah, Shark Missile. It's actually pretty cool, showing some of the different types of weapons you can end up using in the game. It hasn't aged too well, graphically speaking, but the game itself is still not bad in all honesty. Next we have Miss, which is a really, really good puzzle game, I might add. I have Miss 4 on the original Xbox. It's a really fun series. Now, if you were a PC gamer, I'm sure in the 90s, you're definitely going to know of the Miss series, more so than most console gamers, unless you're a little bit more old school or appreciate puzzle games like myself. Then you're definitely going to know about the Miss series. It's actually a really solid, really good series in all honesty. I highly recommend if you enjoy point-and-click type games. Graphically speaking, the backgrounds actually don't look half bad, given this game is pretty old, as you can see. 1993, though it says copyright in 94, see, 95. But yeah, definitely the game has obviously aged over the years, but still, it looks pretty good for the time it came out, in all honesty. second to last game, Dragon's Lair, which is a classic from the 80s arcade. This was, of course, created, and all the artwork was done by one of my all-time personal favorite artists and animators, and that is Don Bluth, which worked on and did both Dragon's Lair and Dragon's Lair sequel. It's honestly a lot of fun, and it's very enjoyable, and it's very creative about the many different ways that your character dies in the game. Is kind of cool too. But it's a really fun, enjoyable game. If you ever get the chance to try Dragon's Lair, I highly recommend trying it out, in all honesty. This is the only version I have, though I know it was also released, I believe, on the Sega Saturn. It was released on the Sega CD, and then it got an HD, put in an HD collection on like PS4 and stuff. So if you ever get a chance, yeah, check out Dragon's Lair. It's actually a lot of fun. Last but not least, saving the best for last, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, which I actually really like this cover, in all honesty, with Akuma on the front there. And there's really not too much to be said about Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. In general, it's just a very well done game. This would really be the first, I think, in the different versions of the game for console that would actually have a full combo meter you could build up and then do a super combo, which is cool. And if you meet certain criteria in this game, of course, when you get ready to face M. Bison at the end, Akuma will appear and do, of course, the Raging Demon and kill M. Bison, which is pretty sweet. But there was a lot of selective criteria, like you couldn't lose a match. You had to make it through without a single continue. You had to do like super finishers and get like a perfect victory. There was several criteria, which they've done in multiple Street Fighter games over the years. And I love that right there. And I just love the look of honestly, the game disc. It's really cool having Akuma just standing there with his arms crossed like that. But anyways, this is basically my 3DO games. Like I said, there are not very many of them, in all honesty. But this is what I do have. So I'll get ready to cut this video, and I'll see everyone next time. Same YouTube time, same YouTube channel.